Okay, so short video about how I feed my sourdough before I make pizza with it. So I have in this tub 155 grams worth of sourdough starter. That's going to get fed, and the way I feed it is with, this is just a cheap tub from something. It's got a half of the flour in here is rye flour, and the other half is just regular old flour. So what you do is you feed it the same weight of flour as what the sourdough is. So it's like 100% portion of its weight of flour. And again, inside this tub is just tap water, which again is 155 grams, which is again the same weight as the sourdough. So all I'm doing now is just mixing the two flours together. So like I said, this is half rye flour, just white rye flour. You can get this from decent stores, but mostly Sainsbury's in the UK is the best place for it. You can get it on Amazon, but they will charge you a fortune for a kilo bag. And the other half is just regular OO flour, which I think is Caputo Pizzeria that I've got in here. So all I'm going to do now is just mix the water and the flour together, give that a bit of a stirring up. You don't have to do anything special, you don't have to do, you know, any fancy kneading or any of that sort of stuff. You literally just mix it. Just get rid of the lumps really, make sure it's all absorbed. And then this is all I do each time. Basically, the sourdough in the tub will, I guess the term is eat this over a period of like 6 or 7 hours, where it will grow substantially, hopefully in the tub. I'm looking at this and I might need to get a bigger tub. And then the consistency of this now will change more into, as I always say, like a toothpaste consistency, which is what the sourdough actually is like. That's pretty much done that now. So what I'm going to do is just flatten this down a little bit. So I have a couple of nice flexi spatulas, and as you can see, this still looks quite gassy, so I'm just flattening it down now, so you'll see that the tub isn't, you can see it's really horrible stuff to touch, and cleaning utensils afterwards is just hard work as well with this stuff. I mean, even if you leave it in hot water, it doesn't seem to come off easy. So I'm just going to tip that mixture in. So there's 155 grams of flour, of which half of that is rye flour and the other half is Caputo. I don't know why people feed them sourdough rye flour, but it seems popular. I was given this starter by a kind chap on one of the groups on Facebook, and that's basically what it's been living off, so I'm not about to change that. So that's in there now. We basically just need to give it a bit of a stir up and get the starter from the bottom up and down this thing. Just try and mix it all up well. And there we go. I think we can leave that at that. Now, given the fact that this tub is already over half full, there isn't a lot of room for growth, and this stuff will grow when you leave it for 5 or 6 hours in room temperature. So tub I'm going to put it in to allow it to grow. So we'll just get rid of that, and then this will help mix it in as well. So we'll just bring all this out using these great spatulas. And then it's just a case of leaving it at room temperature. Might give it another quick stir up. Try and get the remainders out of this, especially at the bottom where the starter lived. I actually have another tub of this in the fridge as well. You're supposed to feed it quite regularly. I'll be honest, sometimes I'll leave it for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Never had any problems with it not coming back. I've even had the alcohol form on the top, which is called hooch. I've even had that appear on various versions of it that I've had before, because I usually have a couple different types of well, a couple of tubs of sourdough. One's my mothership, as they call it, and one is the one that I use to make pizzas from. So that's pretty much done. Not a lot else to do now other than put the lid on it, and we'll let it grow, and then we'll come back to it in a few hours, and then you can see what it looks like. So for the time being, that is that. So I'd say that was pretty much done.